Hello, I'm Luke Nella and welcome to Best Replays of the Week. In this episode we have the perfect sniper, a scout who only lives once, and a top gun from a galaxy far, far away. Let's get started. It feels like there's a pattern forming, because we have another scout replay featuring a top-tier heavy tank. The IS-3 was designed as an assault tank, so it's meant to lead from the front. The game is played on the EU servers. Mali joins an assault on Corellia and makes his intentions clear to the team. A lucky snapshot signals the charge, and Mali is off. Heavy shells ping off the armor, and artillery strikes the ground nearby. Another amazing snapshot hits home, and the scout makes it across the open ground. The IS-3 seems practically immune to enemy fire, and allies are mowing down the defenders with lethal efficiency. The Gerve Panta lands a solid hit and escapes into cover. Mali gives chase and gets tracked again by the other SPG. The scout chooses to deal with a Tiga Porsche rather than chase the arty. I mean, where could it go? And besides, maybe somebody else could serve as bait. See? Much safer this way. The remaining enemies are boxed in, and Mali has time to play sniper. The scout rolls out for the final push, and goes for the Falke 45. The German heavy takes the IS-3 into one-shot territory, but allies blow it up before it can fire again. Victory! Well played, Mali. 9 vehicles spotted and over 5,000 points of assisted damage. More importantly, the fearless YOLO charge led the team into a swift and crushing victory. Switching to the American servers, we have Psycho Bubble defending the base in a T-67 tank destroyer. The match is played on airfield, and technically speaking, the defender isn't bottom tier. Yay! The T-67 is a fast machine, and Psycho Bubble reaches a good position in moments. Firing on a Sherman doesn't reveal the TD's position, but other opponents are uncomfortably close. The Chromo is extremely dangerous, but a little help from an ally means Psycho Bubble ends up on top. The defender hammers a jumbo, all too aware of the other enemies nearby. There's a nervous standoff with a T-3485 until an ally breaks the stalemate. The T-34 comes back for more, and this time Psycho Bubble takes it to school. A flawless victory! Our defender is doing great, but the team is 4 points behind. Make that 5 points. A bottom tier tank destroyer rolls into view, and Psycho Bubble wrecks it with a pair of shots. An OE appears in the rear, but messes up its snapshot. The defender escapes down the cliffside and is gone in a flash. Who's the hunter and who's the prey type? This is where the lack of armor becomes an issue. The type fights back. In the end, half the hit points are gone before it's destroyed. The T-67 turns around and nearly runs into the jaws of a larger TD. The situation looks quite scary before someone comes to the rescue. There are still 5 enemies left, and one of them has started a capture. The defender climbs into a firing position as another opponent enters the circle. A good reset, but this is where it gets dangerous. Trying to kill the Kappa right away is risky, and nearly gets Psycho Bubble killed. Only the commander gets patched up, as the bent gun barrel's left unrepaired. Uh-oh, the capture is nearly complete. Psycho Bubble rolls out, landing a hit on the Sherman. It doesn't die though, and there's another Kappa elsewhere in the circle. Psycho Bubble dismantles the building, as the last remaining green gets near the circle. The second Kappa is revealed, and the reset secured. The useful teammate finishes off an M4, and the defender dismantles the FE-304. Finally, that damn siren is silent. The game is 2 versus 2, and the OE is already here. Psycho Bubble drives around in a large circle and comes back to the fight as the other one is pushing into the base. A shell punches through the OE's side, but it gets into cover. The Toaster takes a hit as well, but the defender has to be very careful. The Su-100Y makes a brave frontal assault, but is kamikazed from behind. It's one-on-one now, and the OE can still take a hit. The defender carries 2 heat shells. But you know what? Why risk it? The quick little TD gets revenge from earlier and sprints into the enemy circle. How do you like listening to that, eh? Psycho Bubble thinks about it some more and decides to relocate to a far corner, behind the buildings. Seconds tick past and houses start blowing up from cannon fire. The OE is too far to reach the circle, and that means our defender is victorious. Nice work, Psycho Bubble. Going for the capture in the end was definitely the right call. Why risk tangling with a heavy when you can outplay it like this? A good show all around. Now let's follow a sniper at work on an EU server. Zippo JP arrives to Erlenberg in a Bacchetion 25-ton. The sniper heads northeast, opening fire as soon as the gun is ready to go. 4 steady shots and their first opponent is down. Zippo backs off for a moment, returns, and unloads the second drum onto a T-30. A rival bat comes sniffing around, but allies keep it busy. When the reload is ready, its time is up. Zippo reloads again and spends the time setting up for the next kill. The Patriot goes down with 3 shells. The sniper sprints forward and pumps the remaining rounds into a 30-man. The aggressive move comes with a cost, however, as the bat takes significant damage before getting away. Finding the next target takes a while. But in the end, the kill goes to an ally. Oh dear, ammo is running low, and the next magazine will be 1 short. A Leopard prototype charges out and eats the first shot. Zippo plays a cautious cat-and-mouse game with no intention of getting hit. When the opening arrives, the attack is swift and deadly. The sniper could reload with heat shells, but the enemies are rapidly running out. It's probably better to keep the last AP round in the breach. The E3 is in cover, but an IS-4 makes for a good target. Boom! Then an ally finishes off the other one, and the game is over. Excellent shooting, Zippo JP. 25 shots fired, each one hitting and punching through armor. With 6 kills and an impressive amount of damage dealt, that was a textbook sniper game. Now back to an American server for a Top Gun with the mightiest tank of all, the fearsome T1 Heavy. The hero of the hour is called Teutonia, and the battleground is Karelia. Chewie takes the battle bus south and stops to assess the opposition. Okay, let's get to work. The T1 Heavy weighs into battle, quickly claiming the first kill. The second victim is a Ram 2, which seems unable to get through the armor. The OE Experimental is a dangerous opponent, but its flat armor proves surprisingly soft. It has a serious gun though, so Chewie pulls back for a bit and finishes the fight from a safer distance. It looks like an enemy hero is wreaking havoc at the home base. Chewie rides to the rescue and destroys the fool, but not before the defenders are all dead. The remaining allies die elsewhere, the Top Gun alone against 7. The next opponent is a thick-skinned British TD, so Chewie swaps to APCR ammo. A T-34 joins the fight, but the Top Gun deals with both, without breaking a sweat. An artillery shell gets dodged as well, just for style. Chewie swaps back to AP and ends up in a duel with another Tier 5 tank destroyer. It dies as an S-35 turns up to join the fight. Briefly. The Top Gun is worried about artillery, and with good cause. Another SPG shot strikes the cliff long after the T1 has sneaked away. Chewie waits for the opponents to come looking. It pays off. When the T1 leaves the hiding place, the last enemy tank is spotted driving for the capture circle. Chewie puts several rounds into the enemy before backing off. Moments later, artillery strikes the tank's previous position. Again! The force is clearly strong with Chewie. The Matilda attempts a counterattack, but dies without causing any damage. That leaves a Tier 3 tank destroyer and an artillery piece. Chewie locks in auxiliary power and heads for the enemy base at top speed. I wonder if a T1 can make the Karelia run in under 2 minutes. The battle bus roars along at a blistering 35 kilometers an hour. The 2-minute alarm blares, and the AMX SPG gets spotted coming down the road. Its sheer speed makes the RT a difficult target, but its fate is still sealed. The FCM could still win this, if the player is paying attention. Turns out they aren't, and an Amarak hit ends the match with 11 kills. Top dog in a Tier 5 game, but 1 against 7 is still impressive. Teutonium paid attention to the match timer and won with half a parsec to spare. And now, for the finale, a crucial contribution from the European servers, where Pasas Jr. drives an AMX M4 Model 49 Liberty on Roomba. The battle is an encounter, with the Liberty as top dog. The tank is something of an outlier in the French heavy branch, as the front armor is superb, like the BDR. The gun packs a nice punch as well. Pasas drives to the square, well ahead of everyone, and takes them head on. Unfortunately, the lower glaciers is a massive weak spot, and the Liberty takes a serious beating. Pasas backs off for a bit and tries again. It's no good, the armor still doesn't hold. The gun at least seems reliable, and Pasas starts getting the hang of things. The match is going well, when suddenly disaster strikes. A T-34 punches straight through the armor, leaving the Liberty hanging by a thread. Hold together, baby. That was close. Hopefully the heaviest fighting is now over. Pasas plays cautiously, providing long-range fire support. The team's advantage melts away, and the Reds take the lead. There's a prince in the capture circle, so maybe keeping them busy for a while could be enough to win. Stay back, Yakpanta! Seriously! No reset for you! Phew! At least the capture is... oh, well, there goes the capture attempt. More coming down the alley. A Super Pershing rushes into grappling range while the T-32 fires from a distance. Pasas dismantles the heavy before giving any attention to the Pershing. The Liberty's lower glacis is hidden, and the facehugger doesn't think to shoot at the cupola. A Nashorn tries his luck as well, but isn't any more successful than the previous two. It's 2 against 3 now, but the next foe is a rival Liberty. The corner fight is dangerous, especially as the opponent is supported by a Stura Imu. Pasas focuses on the TD, but is ready to put a shell through the Liberty's lower glaciers when the opponent gives an opening. That makes Top Gun. The Imu is a tricky target, but a few more shots bring it down. Just one more to go. Pasas requests that the Prince stay in the circle to secure the win, but His Royal Highness decides to go hunting instead. The Liberty has to return to the circle, but ironically, the SPG turns up as well. One more shot, and it's game over. That looked like a disaster early on, but Pasas Jr. rallied magnificently. The lack of any hit point buffer can really focus the mind. Luckily, none of the opponents thought to fire HE in the latter half of the match. That's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the show. Keep sending us replays and we'll keep turning them into silly pop culture references. I'm Luke Neller, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.